listening to the Metal Mixtape here on KSKQ 89.5 FM, Ashland, Oregon, 94.1 FM, Medford, Oregon, and streaming online on kskqdjramo. It is the boy, it is the Don, DJ Ramo. We have the one, the only, the mean gene fighting machine, Scott Lewis from Carnifex on the line. What is up?
Hey, brother, it's awesome to be here. I love this energy.
Oh, dude, you know what? It's all like it's all energy to mask the darkness. You know what I mean? This world's so
Yeah.
crazy, so much shit's going on. You know, I'm just happy to be alive, and we got to talk about your new album, Necromanteum, which is absolutely sick. Comes out October 6th via Nuclear Blast. So it's just and right now, dude, you're touring right now, right?
No, not yet. We go on tour in like 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah, that's the one with Signs of the Swarm, right?
Signs of the Swarm to the Grave, last 10 seconds of life.
Dude, that is so badass, dude. I'm so excited, dude. You guys are just, playing all these shows, just absolutely shredding it. You have the new album coming out, which is absolutely sick, dude. I listened to this album all last night while I was destroying 16-year-olds on League of Legends. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
I was just
Hell
going
yeah.
ham, dude. But dude, Mr. Scott, dude, I know on our first interview we covered, your upbringing, your vocals, how you started music, man. But you know what? We were just coming out of like COVID when last time I interviewed you, and things were getting readjusted, dude. So how has 2023 been, dude? Touring and playing these shows. Does it feel like life's back to normal now, touring?
Yeah, I mean, generally it is. Yeah. And the shows have really been better than ever, which is awesome. Merch has been great. Ticket sales are great. The fan energy is awesome. So it's kind of a nice bounce back from everything we went through a couple years back.
Oh, it got muted for a second. But you were saying, I heard
Oh,
ticket sales good. Everything's been going good. Oh no, no, it's not on your fault. It's not on your
oh,
fault.
okay.
I had, I'm doing this on my phone, and some asshole decided to try to call me. I didn't even know the number. It's like
Oh,
spam.
yeah, it's been a nice like rebound with the fan energy really is where it starts, and it's been better than ever. The ticket sales have been awesome, merch has been awesome, so it's been better than ever, to be honest with you.
Dude, absolutely, dude. And I feel like the music scene has just been crushing it lately, dude. You know, there's so many bands out there. I feel like you guys just continue to evolve, man. You know what I mean? Just listening to like this new album, it's like, dude, I feel like your vocals are like you're still pushing that top tier limit. I feel like every album I've listened to you on, you're just getting better and better. I don't, the techniques you're learning, they're just absolutely crushing, dude. Like, when you're doing your vocals, and I feel like you're one of the vocalists out there that really inspired, like a lot of these kids out there, to get brutal, to get nasty, and all these vocals. Do you ever pay attention to like all the bands that are coming up that Carnifex inspired?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I still listen to all the new records that come out. I was just listening to that new single from Shadow of Intent. Well, maybe it's not brand new; it's a couple months old now. But yeah, like Shadow and Lorna and Slaughter and Brand, like just all the bands that are buzzing right now. I'd like to think we had something to do with their influences, but you never know for sure. But yeah, I mean, we're always just doing our own thing, and when we started, it was a little bit different. We really didn't have all the YouTube stuff to kind of look at. And so, as far as like developing a vocal style, for me, it was just trial and error, and also it was all on the road, it wasn't necessarily like on YouTube or TikTok, how a lot of guys figure it out now.
Do you do you ever like do you and your band ever talk about like how like you have to like sometimes get on those platforms and do like little clips here and there, or did your band ever transition and start doing that? Because I know like you said, like nowadays bands like they're doing TikToks, they're doing all sorts of videos everywhere. Like are you guys transitioning with like the times and getting on those trains?
Uh, nah, not really. I mean, that's the thing with us, man. It's like, so we started in 2005, right?
Mhm.
So YouTube wasn't even around till '07, so we had already
We're
put
that
out
old
Dead
now,
My
Scott.
Arms. we are,
Shit.
so it's like we've been part of so many different like social media apps coming and going. Um, that by the time we get to TikTok, it's just like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to like, do my ninth social media app. You know what I mean? It's just like we're kind of old school in that sense, is maybe it's not like the best thing for business, but we're still like we care about like the art and shit and not so much about content creation. So we kind of, maybe it's not even the right way to do it, but we still kind of are like, we'll let the record speak for itself. If people love it, they'll find it. We don't need to be these goofy assholes on TikTok, and that's just not really my lane. My lane's on stage and in the studio, not necessarily talking to the phone.
No, I dig it, dude. Well, dude, you know what? The new album, Necromanteum, absolutely speaks volumes, and I totally get it, dude. I feel like when if you're constantly trying to create and appease crowds and all that, like sometimes the music can get stale, and dude, I mean, this album is just absolutely mean, and honestly, like, the guitar players Corey and Neil are like just so fucking nasty, dude, and their
Yeah.
songwriting like when I'm listening to like them and Fred and Sean like play their music, I'm just like, man, Scott's just having like a great day, dude. He gets
I
all this
am.
nasty ass music to be able to sing over, dude, which is absolutely sick. And one of my favorite things I love about you guys is that like I feel like you guys pay attention so much to how the song begins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Song structure is something we've been focused on for, a lot of records now. Maybe, sometimes we even try to like our structure is unconventional and we try to not be too structured. I know for the stuff because we already started working on new stuff, we're kind of trying to switch that up a little bit. But I always felt like a good intro was crucial, and that I guess that comes from like think of like Hammer Smash Face from Cannibal, or Spiritual Black Dimensions from Reptile from Dimmable Gear. Obviously, Cradle of Filth has like awesome intros on so many of their songs, like Cruelty and the Beast. It's a great album, and Dusk and Her Embrace as well. So I always felt like a good intro was super important. And also, we're always writing our music in the context of it's going to be performed live. And I feel like a good intro live just like gets the room ready. And if it's a song you love, you hear that intro start and you're just like, oh, here we go. So that's the thing, is like we're always writing in the context of we're a live touring act. So that definitely plays a role in how we structure our songs.
No, I completely agree, dude. I feel like it just makes it so much bigger, and I feel like having all these beautiful intros like almost connects the album that much more. You know what
It
I mean?
does, yeah.
Like dude, like like you guys have like a lot of orchestrations that are just like majestically dark, dude.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I know in a lot of bands I've been in, like it's always like a guitar intro or some or like a vocal intro or some sort like when you guys like write riffs and you want to have like this huge majestic like orchestration behind it, are you guys like, do you write the riff first and you have the orchestration, or you just kind of like do the orchestration and then put the riff second, like when you're trying to build an intro?
Now we usually start with the riff because that's one thing that's important to us is death metal is it's guitar driven music, and so we want to make sure that the riff is still running the show. And yeah, in the process of writing, you may write a riff that you're like, hey, let's use the melody of that riff for the intro on this song, but it does all start with the riff. That's where it starts, and then we just build off of that.
Dude, that's awesome, dude. I did some of my favorite songs on there is Death's Forgotten Children. Absolutely awesome that the feature you had with Tom Barber, dude.
Mhm.
That's got to be pretty sick, dude. Like as a vocalist, do you just have like just a crew of vocalists you're always talking to and pulling inspiration from, or is like Tom just like a homeboy and you're just like, bro, we have a new album. It's gonna be fucking sick. Would love you on this track. For you as a vocalist, I know like it's usually you in charge. It's like is that just like something that rolled through your head and you're just like, you know what, I need my boy on here?
Well, that particular one with Tom came about because we were doing a European tour together. I guess it was November of last year, and that was right when we were sort of in the middle of writing this record because we went and recorded this record in February at the beginning of the year. And so as we were in the back half of the album, we hadn't done a guest feature vocalist yet, and we didn't have one on the last record either. We actually hadn't had one since Alyssa in 2019. Um, and so Tom and I were talking, we were hanging out. They had just put out their double album with the Chelsea Grin double album, and he was working on some Darko stuff. We were working on this, and we were just talking about lyrics and themes and stuff. And then we connected over the theme for Just Forgotten Children. And then I just asked him, and he said, yeah. And, like wouldn't accept any money or anything, just did it as a friend. And then we wrote the lyrics together on FaceTime, like after the tour. We both got back home, and then we just recorded it and put it in. So it was super organic and very much just like two friends working on music, which to me is that's kind of the heart of music is friends working on something collaboratively. That's how Carnifex started, and that's how Just Forgotten Children with Tom came together.
Dude, that's super sick, dude. So did you like start off the lyrics and he just added on to like the theme of the lyrics that you wrote, or how did that part come about where you had a part for him?
Yeah, it was. I had some lyrics written already, and I had the theme in mind, which was a near death experience as a child, surviving that. And that was where we ultimately related is he had one as well. And so I had, like I said, I had a portion of the lyrics written. And then, pardon me, when we got together up on FaceTime, I had sent him what I had, and he had the pre-production of the song. And so we just started filling out the rest of the parts together. Just he would write a couple lines, I would write a couple lines until we had the full song. And then we basically both tracked the full song and then split the vocals up like in an editing process or layered them in places.
Dude, that's so sick, dude. No, I love it, dude. And honestly, dude, this whole album is insanely organic, dude. Like I was saying, Death Forgotten Children, one of my favorite songs. Probably my favorite song in the whole album is Crowned in Ever Black. Every song, the singles and everything on the song sick, dude. But just, dude, Crowned in the Ever Black and Architect of the Misanthropy. Is that how you pronounce it?
Architect of Misanthropy, yeah.
Misanthropy, man. It's cause I'm not from this country, dude. I can't pronounce these words. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, dude, but it's so sick, dude. And just like Infinite Night Terror, dude. Just there's so much majestic buildup. And I also love, dude, that like, like when you were saying that like you guys aren't doing the TikToks really doing like all the massive social media thing. I could feel this album being really organic because a lot of times, I listen to a lot of albums, I feel like a lot of parts are extremely predictable. And for me, this album wasn't predictable. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
When you did do your breakdowns, there was still so much background noise, so much background shredding and harmonization where I feel like nowadays there's like a new trend going on where like you just have to slow the entire song down to have like an effective breakdown. And I
Hmm.
feel like in your albums like you're able to have a lot of effective breakdowns while still being extremely brutal, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and that's we've been writing breakdowns for 18 years now, so
Oh yeah.
you kind of have I guess you get good at it, but then also like you've used a lot of ideas already, so you still got to try to figure out how to be creative. But yeah, I mean, we always write in the live setting too, so I think with that in mind, that's why maybe it sounds a little bit different. We're not necessarily writing for a clip online. We're writing for because we got to play this song live, and we're trying to give the audience something they can interact with and what works best in the context of like a full set. So maybe our approach is just a little bit different.
No, I dig it, dude. I absolutely love it, dude. As a vocalist, dude, I hear like so much of what you're doing and all these songs. And I feel sometimes you're just going like fucking off. Do you ever just like do you ever like slow yourself down and be like, all right, can I pull this off live? Or you're just like singing to like the things you know you could pull off live. I mean, I'm not entirely sure your strength. I'm sure you could just think hours for hours. But
It's
do you ever
actually
do? But
the other way. I have an
okay,
easier time on stage than I do in the studio.
okay.
Yeah, so I feel like when I'm in the studio, I'm wishing I could perform how I do live.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
yeah, so I wish I could bring like my live, atmosphere and energy into the studio because the studio is pretty sterile. And I don't know how familiar you are with the recording process, but it's a lot of start and stop. You know,
Yep.
whereas live, like when the train leaves, you're rolling, and you got to get through that hour, like figure it out. And I kind of like that urgency and that pressure of the live setting more than the studio setting. We're live musicians, man. Like that's kind of been our whole career has been on stage. We've been nonstop touring since March of 2006. So pandemic notwithstanding. So when you spend that much time on stage and that much time on tour, but then you only do a record every 2 years and you're in the studio for a week, my bread and butter is on stage, and the studio is the weird thing for me.
Dude. No, I dig it. No, because I know like back in the day, like Metallica and all them, they'd record in one room and everybody to be all like mic'd up and almost do like a live setting. And I know nowadays it's always just stop and go, write a riff, edit here, I know, sing this part and then stop and
Hmm.
then sing this part. So yeah, no, I definitely understand, dude. But you know what? I feel like in this album, like it totally just sounded like the lyrics were just 100% fluid. Because I totally get it, dude. I mean, I watch your music live and you turn into an animal when you're on stage, dude. And I'm sure when you get into the studio, you have to probably like stub your toe or something and get pissed off before you do some vocals.
Well, the last two records, I guess doing the record here in the studio I'm in right now during the pandemic was kind of a blessing in disguise because I actually realized I much preferred doing vocals kind of my own way in that I try to avoid that start stop now. And what I do now is I try to record the song as a whole, like start to finish. And
Fuck.
then maybe I'll do that 2 or 3 times and we'll take the best take out of the 2 or 3. And then we'll be like, okay, this line kind of whatever was off time. Let's fix this one line. And then maybe in the later part of the song, yeah, this line, let's fix that one too. So I try to keep the performance that it has the most continuity in it rather than when some of the producers I work with in the past, they literally are like, okay, give me this line. Okay, stop. And then they edit for like 10 minutes and they're like, okay, give me this line. Now stop. And you're doing like 4 words at a time. And
Oh my
that doesn't
God.
work for me. So that's why I kind of stopped going to outside producers to track my vocals. And on Graveside and then on this Necromanteum, I've just done them here at the studio, kind of done them my own way.
Dude, I love it, dude. And then that way, like, it isn't just constantly deflating when you have to stop, when you have that energy, when you have like the inspiration to record vocals, I couldn't imagine just being like, all right, stop, all right, go. All right,
Yeah,
stop.
it doesn't work for me.
Dude, that's awesome, dude. Like you were talking about how busy you guys are touring and everything. How far ahead are you guys always booking for all these tours? Like before you know that you're gonna head on a out on a tour.
Right now we're booked through August of 24. So we have our US tour coming up October, November. And then we go down to Latin America for December, 2 weeks in December. And then we go to Europe for a month, March, April. And then we do another US tour May, June. And then we go back to Europe for August of 24. And then we got to figure out what we're doing for fall of 24.
Dude, that is so badass, dude. Everybody, we were talking to Scott Lewis from Carnifex, the new album, Necromanteum, dude. October 6th, dude. I'm super excited. For everybody to listen to this, please check out the album when it drops. Check them out on tour coming up with Signs of the Swarm. It's going to be absolutely sick, dude. Any last words before I let you go, my friend?
Yeah, try and see us on tour. Stream the record, Spotify or Apple, and hit our indie merch store if you want to grab a t-shirt.
Sweet, dude. Last but not, you know what? I got a little bit more time. I'm gonna throw you three fast questions. You ready?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
All right. All right. If you could choose your death, but it had to be by somebody in a horror movie, who would you choose to kill you, and how would they do it?
Hmm. Let's see here. I guess the dude from Seven, one of the seven deadly sins.
Oh shit.
That's what I go with.
All right. Who is the artist or band that you listen to that is furthest from your genre?
Oh, see, maybe Lana Del Rey, something like that.
Sweet. I love it. I love it. What is one thing your fans wouldn't expect that you're good at besides anything music?
Accounting.
Counting?
Yeah, I guess I run all the business of the band, which is really you're just doing math all the time.
I love it. I love it. Last but not least, can you say this is Scott Lewis from Carnifex and you are listening to the Metal Mixtape?
This is Scotty and Lewis from Carnifex, and you are listening to the Metal Mixtape.
Bro, you have a great, beautiful day. I hope all your tours are awesome and massive success on the new album, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Take care, brother.
Later, dude.